Welcome back. This week, I spoke with our panelists, Jennifer Wagner, Mike Murphy, Robin Winston, and Tony Samuel, about the nationwide protests and the volatility in our country this election year.
The death of the man in Minnesota was very disheartening. This is starting to get to be old. We've seen Eric Garner in New York. We saw a guy get shot when he was out jogging outside of Atlanta. We saw the actions in Minnesota, but I want to make something clear. Dr. King would never have condoned this kind of violence that we're also seeing in reaction to this. We talk about campaigns and elections here a lot. If you want to make changes in policy, register to vote, vote, and change the policy making. Don't break windows and steal televisions. It's important that this police matter be addressed. Not only here, but in Louisville yesterday, the police had to confront people on Jefferson Street because a woman was shot in her home on a no-knock warrant by the police department. This stuff has got to stop.
The other thing I think you have to comment on is, in both good and bad about Trump this week, is good in that he secured $100 million for the South Shore, which will be great for Northwest Indiana, but bad in that he seems to be saying when the looting starts, the shooting starts, going back to a 1967 Miami mayor statement, that is dangerous and it's irresponsible.
Jennifer?
Yeah, I think I think everything that Mike and Robin said, but for some reason this week felt heavier than most.
Yeah.
I think because it all came together, and we have 100,000 people, who've died of the coronavirus, and 20,000 more in predicted in the coming weeks, and you've got riots in Minnesota, and you've got our reopening going pretty well, but everything just feels so heavy. And I really just hope we can take this opportunity to, use the example in Minnesota to teach our kids, especially, our white kids, you guys, you have to stand up, you have to be allies, you have to fight for the things that are right. And also just to say, look, America, take a look in the mirror. Is this who we are? Are we really being our best selves right now? And if the answer is no, then to Robin's point, let's get out there and vote and make some change.
Tony, 30 seconds here. I'll give you the last word.
Well, thanks. Yeah, I did want to comment on what's happened in Minnesota. That was probably the most horrific thing I've seen, the death of George Floyd. But regarding the rioting and the looting, I agree with Robin. But I also want to point out, these are anarchists as well. So they're giving the folks in Minneapolis a bad name that want to protest peaceably, as they should be allowed to. These are people also that are coming in from other places and starting fires and just instigating and making things a lot worse. So that has to be looked at, because there's conventions, national conventions coming up.
Sure.
And we need to really take a strong look.
It's going to be quite a year, no doubt, and it has been already. 2 days from this primary, Jennifer, what might we see when it comes to safety and logistics with absentee votes, concerns about delays with that process, and what about this crowded 5th District primary?
Yeah, so I think the short answer to that is that we're probably not going to know 2 days from now what the outcome of those really, really close races are. So not just CD5, but some of those close state house races. I think that we're going to see a relatively smooth election for those who go and vote in person, as long as people are safe and socially distanced. But I think it's going to be a few days into this coming week before we can actually call a winner.
And could be a long time counting some of those absentee ballots. We'll see. Jennifer, thanks. Let's bring in former GOP lawmaker Mike Murphy. Mike, a lot of ads here in the final days, especially from the Club for Growth, as the candidates discussed earlier.
Yes, Dan, I have to say I'm really disappointed in how the last couple of weeks have gone. We have David McIntosh, who used to be a Hoosier, at one time acted honorably in this state. He's bringing tons of money into the state, telling lies about all kinds of candidates, Brizzy, Henderson, and others. And here's a guy who lost his home precinct when he ran for governor, and then lost a primary for the very congressional seat we're talking about today. So I don't know if he's trying to win by proxy or what, but he's certainly shown a complete ignorance of Indiana politics. And I hope he stays out of Indiana.
Well, let's turn now to former state Democratic Party Chairman Robin Winston. Robin, is this a seat Democrats can flip?
Well, yeah, Joe Donnelly won this district in 2018. It's the seat that we have outstanding candidates running for. Let's not leave this absentee ballot thing behind, Dan. There's 500 and some thousand of applications have been submitted and ballots have gone out. 320,000 of those have gone to Democratic voters. So this proves what we've been saying for decades, which is if you make voting more accessible, you increase the number of people that will participate, and hopefully the General Assembly will expand voting rights when they get back together.
Finally, 2016 Vice Chair for the Indiana Trump campaign, Tony Samuel. Tony, how do you see this playing out?
And Dan, thanks. Well, there's a lot there. One just personal note on the absentee ballots. We mailed the request in both for my wife's and mine, and we got my wife's back, but not mine yet. So it looks like I'll be voting in person. There are a lot of safety precautions that are in place, so I feel pretty comfortable about it. Regarding the 5th district race, I agree with Mike. You know, as working on the Trump campaign in 2016, I was really disappointed in what the Club for Growth was doing back then. So as soon as I saw that first mail piece attacking Carl Brizzi, and I saw who it came from, I knew exactly what was going on, and the hypocrisy is huge here. You know, I think again, with so many candidates and so many people distracted with what they're dealing with daily with the coronavirus and everything, that it still opens the door for any of these top tier candidates. So it's not necessarily going to go to the person that spends the most money. And I think Beth Henderson and Carl Brizzi both have a decent shot.
We'll see how it plays out. And we'll have much more on our podcast. Stick around. We'll be right back.